So some of you may remember a couple of weeks ago I made a video helping an archer in Vietnam with their technique and giving some feedback. I had a reply from this archer with some new videos of their shooting, showing me their progress and showing me how they've improved and worked on this, and I wanted to share that with you today, so that's exactly what we're going to look at now. Before we get started though, I've got an interesting question, and I would like to know how many layers of leather you have in your tab. In the future I'm going to do a video on tabs, and I'd be very interested to see how many layers you have and what layers you have in your tab as well. So let me know in the comments below for that. So first of all, let's have a look at the video of the original technique, and then we'll look at the video of the technique after some work and after the feedback that I gave the archer, and we'll compare the two. So that is the technique before any of the changes were made and before I gave the archer some feedback, and now we'll look at the technique after working on the points that I made. So you can see in the second video, the improvement is absolutely massive. So the first thing I'd like to say is a really well done and an amazing amount of work that must have gone into this from Quõc the archer. The amount of improvement there is just massive. So we'll run through a few of the key things here, but I love the improvement a lot. It's simply really good, a lot better than I was expecting in the small amount of time he's been working on this. So that's really cool. Now, before I go over the improvements, I want to go through a little exercise. Just first of all, like this video if you are impressed with the amount of improvement that the archer's shown, because I certainly am. And also I want you to pause the video just after this and comment below the 3 main improvements that you can see, and then watch the rest of the video and see whether you spotted the same things as I did, or maybe you saw some extra improvements as well. Now let's go through step by step and look at some of the specific areas that have improved. So first of all, you can see the upper traps tension that there was in the previous video, the creasing in the neck that I mentioned, that is gone now. And you can see there is no crease in the neck. On release, there's no change in the neck in terms of the creases were there and then they would disappear before. Now, through the shot, there are no creases in the neck. On release, there's still no creases in the neck because the upper traps are much more relaxed and the whole shoulder is in a much better position. Secondly, and this is perhaps the most visible, easiest to see improvement, and this is the release. The release is so much better now. It's so much tighter to the neck, so much cleaner, so much more direct as well. And this is basically because of the change in the scapular position, the shoulder position, and the way that the archer can now expand through the clicker properly, because the positioning is good and because the expansion is good. That is then making the release much better. So I was super happy to see this, because that release now is really improved, and frankly that's just a massive improvement in such a short amount of time. Another area that's definitely improved, and this is a little bit harder to see on the video, it's not so visible, but if you look closely at the bow hand, you can see, this was one of the points I made as well, you can see the bow hand position is much better. It's not more rotated onto the grip now, so the bottom of the bow hand is not touching the grip as much, and the position is better, which gives a better stability in the arm and in the shoulder as well. So I was really happy to see that as well. Even though it might look like a minor point, this really affects the rest of the shot. Also, the direction of the elbow on expansion and then release and follow through is much better in the newer video. So this follows on from the upper traps work that we were talking about, relaxing the upper traps and then the drawing and expansion and release, and the direction of the elbow on the release this way is much better, whereas before the release was outward and the elbow was a little bit more down. So this again is a massive improvement, and I'm really, really proud of this. So the great thing about this as well is not only is the technique better, and you can obviously see the technique is better, but also I got an email from Quõc the archer, and he also said that now he's gone from shooting maybe 330, 340 on a very good day at 30 meters. Now at the moment, if he shoots 340, he feels like that's a bad day. He sent me some scores through and he's consistently shooting 350 plus already. And that was just from one feedback session, giving some information, some insight, and giving some things to work on. So really, really well done. This is a really great improvement. And I'm so happy to see just after, one session what the improvement is. And already 350 is a really great score to be hitting and getting this consistently. So I'm really hopeful that there's even more in the tank for the future of this archer. And I definitely think there's more scores to come as well. So one thing I didn't say about this video is I wanted to make it clear that this change didn't happen just overnight by itself. The archer has worked extremely hard to do this, and they've dedicated a lot of time to band work, shooting with the bow, lowering the draw weight a little bit to get the feeling better, and doing the things that I mentioned in the previous video and sticking to them. So this is really, really important. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes hard work, it takes commitment, but you can see the results that do happen because this is the change in just a short amount of time. So I was really, really happy to see that as well. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone understands that it's not something that's easy, but it is doable and the results are worth it. So that was an overview of the massive improvements this archer's made in just a short amount of time. I wanted to show you guys this video so that you can see the improvements and see the progress you can make in a short amount of time. And I also wanted to show you the difference in score level that can come from working on your technique in a logical way and really working on the important things. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you guys today. As always, make sure to smash that like button, especially this time for the archer who's made a massive, massive improvement. So hit that like button if you're impressed with this improvement. And as always, you can find us on social media and I'll put the links to those below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.